Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Guravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyamadi Paschatya Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, share the link, please.
Put that drink on that thing.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gora Premanandi, Hare Hare. Thank you for your dancing and chanting enthusiastically. Very nice. Who's singing?
It's like Bibi Govinda Swami. Bringa Govinda Swami.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
But from where is the sound is coming?
From the kitchen. It's the music
Outside.
outside. Just turn it off. Yeah, we'll be back.
Ah, okay. Very good. So, that's okay. We may sing after also, if you want to. So, tomorrow's Ekadasi, by the way, no? You know. They're asking me, so I'm answering them.
Do you know what Ekadashi?
Huh?
Do you know what Ekadashi is?
Yes, what is the name of the Ekadasi?
Starts with an A, I'm forgetting the word. I don't know the story behind it.
Alright, so I'm going to read one quote from Srila Prabhupada. Maya may try to pull us from Krishna's service and try to engage us in her service, but we must simply preserve and try to do as much as possible for Krishna each day. And gradually it will be easier and easier to keep engaged in Krishna consciousness activities. And pray to Krishna to please keep us always engaged in the service of his lotus feet. Krishna is very kind and he is never ungrateful and will give you more and more opportunity to serve him. That is his mercy. This Prabhupada letter to Shyam Sundar, November 12, 1968. So, we have two situations in this world. One situation is that Maya is pulling us toward her service, and we have the soul wanting to serve Krishna because we are part of Krishna. Naturally, we have in our heart the desire to serve Krishna because we are part of him. Is a natural tendency of the soul. Now, when the soul is entangled in this material world by the mind and the senses, the soul suffers. Although it may seem that the person enjoying the material senses and the mind, but actually the soul is suffering because the soul wants to be with Krishna, doesn't want to forget Krishna. So, Prabhupada is telling his disciple that try as much as possible to be Krishna conscious every day. Try to increase your attachment to Krishna. And how we do that? By hearing about Krishna. By hearing, chanting, remembering, and crying out for Krishna. We have to show Krishna our need of him, or helplessness, It's a very important thing, in the spiritual life, that we should know for sure that Maya is very powerful. Krishna explained that in Bhagavad Gita. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam evaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. This energy of mine, divine, Daivi is divine energy, is powerful. Is very difficult to overcome, Krishna says. But those who surrender unto me can overcome it very easily. In the rainy season, you can see water in the calf print, and this material world is compared to an ocean of ignorance. But when one surrenders to Krishna, that big ocean becomes the little water that can fit in the calf print, like that. So, also the symbol in Krishna's lotus feet is a conch shell. That also symbolizes that all the material oceans of ignorance and suffering, once one surrenders at his lotus feet, all that big ocean can fit in that conch shell. And we can overcome very easily these difficulties of material life. Sanatana Goswami, he used to do parikrama every day of Govardhan here. It's like 22 kilometers now. And he was in his old age, was difficult for him to do it, but still every day he will make his effort. But one day, one coward boy told him, Babaji, you are very old. Why are you still doing this? It's my duty. I have to do it. No, you are too old. You stop doing this. Krishna will understand that. No, leave me alone. I have to do my duty. So the boy climbed on his back. What are you doing? I'm old enough to walk, and you're trying to do my seva more difficult by climbing my back. No, I'm trying to stop you because I know you are too old for this. Okay, I'm going to help you, the boy said. And then he showed to Sanatan that he was Krishna actually. And Sri Sanatan Goswami was in ecstasy. And Krishna gave him a Govardhan Shila, stone from Govardhan. And Krishna put his foot on it, and the stone melted, and the print of Krishna's foot was there. And also calf was there, print there, and the flute. The stone melted, it became there, imprinted in the stone, And that stone is still in the temple of Radha Damodar in Vrindavan. If you go there, you can ask Pujari, please, to show it to you. You give a little donation, of course. And it's said for those who are not physically able to go around the Govardhan Parikrama, if they go 4 or 7 times around the Shila, which is in the altar, is the same as doing the Govardhan Parikrama. Krishna takes it as for those who are not physically able to do this. And also one can do it in 2 days. You can do half one day, put the mark there, a stone or something, and next day you can continue. If you can do it the same day. So Krishna is so kind and merciful to his devotees, Sanatana Goswami, he went to see Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, and he was so humble that he felt that the Brahmanas who worshiping Lord Jagannath, I don't want them, accidentally touch my body, since because he was coming from to make a shortcut. He went through the forest of Jarikanda, and he drank water there that was not pure water, and he got some some infection in his skin. They have a little bubbles, with poos inside. So he didn't want them to get contaminated. So he decided to go see Lord Chaitanya by walking on the seashore, And the sand was very hot because it was noontime. He burned his feet actually. Anyway, he arrived at Lord Chaitanya's place. Lord Chaitanya wanted to embrace him, hug him. He was not trying to avoid it, because of this goose. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, forcibly Lord Chaitanya will embrace him, and he will feel bad about it because some of these bubbles will open up, and some little of this water or poos will touch Lord Chaitanya's body. So he felt so bad about that. Every time he will go see him, he will forcibly embrace him like that. So Sanatana Goswami thought, my body is a cause of offense to Lord Chaitanya. Better I give it up, So he was planning at the Ratha Yatra festival to throw himself under the wheels of the car, so he will commit suicide this way. Of course, Lord Chaitanya, being omniscient, he knew everything, and he preached to him, said, I know what are you planning to do. I don't approve it. Don't do it. If by giving up our body we can achieve love of Krishna, I will have given up thousands of bodies. But your body doesn't belong to you. It belongs to me. You surrendered yourself to me. And I have many plans for you to engage your body in Krishna's service, so you can't do that. And then Sanatan was surprised that the Lord knew his mind, and he's crying through himself at the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord Chaitanya embraced him. And when he did that, he was cured completely from his skin disease. Totally, completely cured. No? This reminds me when Lord Chaitanya visited South India, he met one Brahmana called Kurma. No? Very nice Brahmana. He stayed at his home. And then another devotee Brahmana, Vasudev, he wanted to come see the Lord. And he was very sick. He had leper. He was a leper. Imagine. People would, when see him, will cross the other side of the road. He had a bad smell even. And in some of his part of his body, there were even some worms, will fall from the skin, and he will pick it up, put it back. This is your home. You stay here. He was so detached from his body, that. Anyway, so he went to see Lord Chaitanya, but Lord Chaitanya already left. So Vasudeva fell unconscious due to strong feeling of separation from Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, being omniscient, he came back to give him darshan. So, and Vasudeva was very happy, paid obeisance to the Lord, and the Lord embraced him. And all his leprosy disappeared completely. He cured him immediately, just by hugging him. So Lord Chaitanya is very powerful. He's Krishna himself, coming in the role as a devotee. The feelings of love of Radha for Krishna, very high, above, Mahabhav. Krishna is known as Rasaraj, and Radharani is known as Mahabhav. King Krishna is the king of all rasas, meaning he enjoys all the varieties of relationship with his pure devotees. And as a master, as a friend, as a son, or as a lover, or a husband. And Radharani, she enjoyed the highest ecstasy, called Mahabhav. Nobody can achieve that same bhav as she. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radharani can experience this Mahabhav. And if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find out some amazing symptoms of ecstasy that Lord Chaitanya experienced, that no human body can tolerate. His body becomes sometimes very elongated, sometimes will shrink, like the devotees were looking for him because they didn't find him in his room in the Gambira, in Jagannath Puri. And they were searching for him everywhere. They went to the seashore and they saw a fisherman they knew crying and laughing and rolling in the ground. Say, what happened to you? I think I am ghost hunted because I touch a corpse and I guess the ghost entered my body. Have you seen Lord Chaitanya? He knew Lord Chaitanya, of course. No, I haven't seen him. How you got to touch this corpse? Oh, I was fishing on the ocean and a corpse get caught in my net, and when I touch it, and I start to have all these crazy symptoms. So they understood that was Lord Chaitanya. So take us where the corpse is, and they saw the head was inside the body, the arm and the legs were inside the body. Only the trunk was visible. So they start to chant very loudly the holy name of Krishna, and the head came out, the arms and the legs, and he jumped in the air chanting also the holy name of Krishna. I mean, like a tortoise, those things are not possible for human beings. Such ecstasy, And sometime they will find him at the door of the Simhadwar, in front of the temple of Lord Jagannath, unconscious, in ecstasy. And the cows will be licking his body. And they start chanting loudly to bring him back. And when he will come back, he will protest. Why you brought me here? I was in Govardhan. And I saw the gopis collecting flowers. They asked me to help them collect flowers to make garlands for Radha and Krishna. And I saw Radha Krishna entering a cave in Govardhan. And you came, you start loudly, chanting, and you brought me back here. Why you are so cruel to me? I was so happy to be there in Govardhan. So that's why his daily activities in Jagannath Puri. Day and night, he was crying out for Krishna, mad after Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya brought that school to teach us how we can cry for Krishna. Of course, we can't imitate Lord Chaitanya, but at least we shall try to have some little feeling for Krishna, missing Krishna. Because natural, we are part of Him, we belong to Him, so it's natural. But because of material conditioning of the mind, and we don't feel that way. We don't feel the urgency, the need to be with Krishna, to love Krishna, to serve Krishna. That's our misfortune, When Lord Chaitanya was crying for Krishna, he will tell the devotees, actually I don't have any love for Krishna at all. Because if I would have really love for Krishna, how is that I'm still alive? How I'm still breathing or eating, taking care of my body? If I really loved Krishna, I would not be able to tolerate a separation. 1 minute. You may say that, but we see tears in your eyes. Oh, that's just to show my good fortune. That's all. These are not real tears. This is crocodile tears. So that was his mood, no? And I mean to say, Lord Chaitanya, he came just 500 years ago. We should be talking more about him because he's the last avatar. Not avatar, avatari. Avatari means the origin of all avatars. Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagai Sankirtana Prayanti Sumedasa. Srila Sanatana Goswami was the first person to find verses from the Shastras, the Vedas, proving Lord Chaitanya's divinity. And this verse I just recited is from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And that says that intelligent people in Kali Yuga will worship the Supreme Lord who comes not in a blackish form. Then how you know it is a golden form? Because when Garga Muni made the name-giving ceremony for Krishna and Balaram, he told Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda that your son previously was white and then red and now is blackish. Only in the future he will have the yellow or golden form. So that was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the verse said, those who are intelligent, they will worship the Supreme Lord who through the Sankirtan, chanting congregationally of the holy name, and he will come with his associates and weapons. His weapons are his beauty and his holy name. Lord Chaitanya, wherever he goes, people will become immediately attracted to his beauty and his devotion. When he entered the Ranganath temple in South India, he was with, in ecstasy, and he was dancing and chanting, and immediately attracted thousands of people's attention. And they saw he was genuinely in ecstasy, rolling in the ground, laughing, crying, changing bodily colors, like that. Everywhere he went, attracted so many people, just by his presence. So, there is no difference between what Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto, always think of me, become my devotee, and Lord Chaitanya's saying, just chant the holy name of Krishna. He ordered his followers to preach everywhere 3 things. Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Sikho. Chant the holy name of Krishna, worship Lord Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions as they are in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavata. That was his order to everyone, and emphasizes 3 things. Nama Ruchi, Jivedaya, Vaishnava Seva. Develop taste for chanting the holy name of Krishna. Be compassionate to those who forgot Krishna, and serve the Vaishnavas. Lord Chaitanya has one the follower called, his name was Kalidas, and he loved to serve all the Vaishnavas. He will invite all Vaishnavas for prasad, and he will serve them personally, all Vaishnavas. Beginners, in the middle, or very advanced, he will serve all of them. And after they will leave, he will eat the remnants of their plate. Doesn't matter if they were new devotees or very advanced devotees, he will eat the leftover from their plate. So one day, he accompanied Lord Chaitanya to the Jagannath temple. Lord Chaitanya will go every day to have darshan of Lord Jagannath. And before entering the temple, one devotee will wash his feet. But Lord Chaitanya forbade anyone to touch this water from his feet. Nobody will dare to touch it. But Kalidas, he immediately jumped and put his hand and drank 3 times the Charanamrit. All devotees were, wow, now he's going to be chastised. But Lord Chaitanya smiled. He said, you satisfied your desire by drinking 3 times. That's good enough. So Lord Chaitanya was pleased with him because of his service to the devotees. That's why he gave them his mercy. He allowed him to drink the water from his feet. Lord Chaitanya has a servant named Govinda. And every day after coming back from the temple of Lord Jagannath, Govinda will massage the lotus feet of the Lord, so he will relax and have a good nap, But one day Lord Chaitanya came a little tired, and he lay down, and is on the entrance of the room, on the door, blocking the door, and his feet were inside the room. So when Govinda came to do his service, he was in a dilemma what to do. Either don't do the service because I don't want to make offense to step over the body of Lord Chaitanya, or either to make offense by stepping over this body and do the service. I have these 2 options. So he decided, I will do my service no matter what. So he stepped over the body and entered the room, and there inside he was massaging the feet of the Lord, and the Lord got relaxed and have a good rest, And then, after like an hour, the temple bell was, heard, calling devotees for prasad. So when Lord Chaitanya heard the bell, he woke up. He said, Govinda, why you're not going to take prasad? Oh, how can I step over you? And then how you came in? And Govinda said, to do my service, I'm willing to go to hell, but not to satisfy my tongue, my senses. So one can take risk for serving Krishna, but not for satisfying the senses. No? That's Govinda's teaching, to all of us. So, Krishna knows our heart. He's Bhavagrahi Janardan. He's in the heart of everyone. And we should try to be as much sincere as possible to please Krishna and his pure devotees, and all his devotees, Krishna loves all his devotees, new and old, advanced or neophyte, because they're trying sincerely to serve him, so they are dear to him. So Krishna consciousness means the desire to become purified. Human life is meant for purification. Krishna is like the big fire, and we have to become fiery to be in association with him. Prabhupada gave the example, if you put an iron inside the fire for a long time, they become fiery, like red hot, like the fire. So in the same way, if we practice Krishna consciousness with the desire to become purified, from what? From lust, greed, anger, envy, fear, illusion, all these things, ignorance. We can gradually become purified and develop love for Krishna. The love is already there, dormant in the heart, but it's covered by ignorance and passion. So we have to cleanse the heart by chanting, hearing, remembering about Krishna daily, every day. Avoid distraction as much as possible and try to focus on the goal of life, which is Krishna Prema. Prema Pumarto Maha. Lord Chaitanya said the highest goal for human being is to develop love of Godhead. Prabhupada told us in a letter he sent to the temple in South America, Caracas, he said, even in this same life you can enjoy the fruit. Because Lord Chaitanya said that devotional service is like growing a creeper. You have to water it every day. And to be careful, take away the weeds that grows along with it. And when the tree grows enough, start giving fruits. And the fruits are love of Godhead, Krishna Prema. He said you can enjoy even in this material world, this fruit. So, I mean to say, devotees are like mangoes, Meaning some are green, some are ripe, some on the way to be ripe. So, but mango is a mango. It's a question just of time that become ripe and sweet. If we keep trying and endeavoring and hearing, chanting, increasing our remembrance of Krishna internally also, missing Krishna, feeling separation, following the teaching of Lord Chaitanya, then the heart start become cleansed, and then spiritual feelings start to awaken. Then spiritual life become very pleasing. At the same time painful, because feeling separation from Krishna is painful. But it's not material pain, that's a spiritual. That's also nice. The nectar of devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, it is like drinking very sweet sugar cane juice, very sweet. But if the sugar cane is very hot, it will burn your tongue, but it's so sweet you can't stop drinking it. So it's like that, missing Krishna is like that. It's very sweet, but at the same time is hard, but it's not material, it's a spiritual. That kind of viraha or feeling separation burns up more fast the material contamination. So it's important to try to develop more our Krishna consciousness. One should be greedy to make more advancement, not to be in comfortable zone or trying to be, No, we should endeavor to come out of the mechanical, repetitive practice of Krishna consciousness in a mechanical way. We should try to develop some feelings also. It's not like chanting Hare Krishna as a race. I have to finish in 5 minutes. Hare Krishna, what is this? It's not a race. It's hearing and chanting attentively, very every word. No? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every single word, hear and chant nicely, with feeling of helplessness, like a child calling for mother. Helpless. Without your mercy, my Lord, I can't even chant properly. So please help me to please you by doing good chanting and develop some taste for chanting. So, it's a great challenge we have, and we have to ask for the Lord's help and mercy to be able to make it. It's a greatest adventure for all human beings. To buy one-way ticket, no return, back to Krishna. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was start preaching, and some young people start coming, listening to him, but after they will go back to Calcutta. He was in Mayapur. And one day told him, next time if you come to me, please come one-way ticket. You may say, I have to put some fire off, in my house or something. But that will always come. If that's not problem, there's another problem. You are not married, you're bachelors. So, help me preach this movement. Sometime the mothers of this young man will come searching for them. Although they're grown-up men, they are in their 20s, still they pull from the ear, take home. So he will hide them under his bed. Bhaktisiddhanta, he was here, but he left, and they're hiding under the bed. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, if I will have not done that, there will be no Gaudiya Mat. Hare Krishna. He opened 64 temples all over the India, initiated 60,000 disciples. And he asked Prabhupada, go to the West, preach Krishna consciousness in the foreign country. That's the way you can please me. And Prabhupada did it. There's a miracle. Old man, 70 years old, going out to sell his book in libraries and to get some vegetables and survive in New York without friends or money, nothing. And in a few years, all over the world, that's Krishna's miracle. Prabhupada said, this is Krishna's miracle. I myself was surprised beyond my expectation, Prabhupada said. Because Prabhupada had no material desires, only desire was to please his Guru and Krishna. So Krishna used him as instrument, empowered him. That's called Shakti Avesh, empowerment. Otherwise, how is it possible? for young people to give up intoxication, illicit sex, gambling, and meat eating. Prabhupada gave them higher taste, prasadam and chanting. Very powerful. Prabhupada said this is our movement is kitchen religion. Our secret weapon is prasad. Conquer people, This is a fact. Some devotees used to go to airport to distribute books, and the guards will always kick them out. So they start bringing them sweets, Mahaprasad sweets, and they start eating. And after a few days, they became more mellow. Yeah, distribute your books, that's fine. No big deal. They softened. So, I have any comment or questions? Yes?
You mentioned chanting a little too quick or a little. So, how many minutes should a chant round take?
For one round of japa, between 9 and 11 minutes. Depends on. The important thing is to do it correctly. Don't miss any word. Just to do it fast. And don't do it too slow either. Normal. The important thing is to pay attention, to listen to every word. Don't miss any word.
Can you give us an example of how fast or how slow you chant? I hear you chant at home, but
yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Not like Hare Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Krishna. What happened there? Or every half mantra you will go to one beat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and then Hare Ram the next beat. Of course, you will finish in 5 minutes.
11 minutes.
Hare Krishna. So, what do you think?
Maharaj shared the story about the two friends, they were, arguing. That one?
Oh, yes. That showed the stubbornness of people.
Yes.
Stubbornness, and the mind is very stubborn, People fight for anything, without any real reason, Like she wanted me to tell a story that two friends, they were arguing that they got a letter, somebody sent a letter, and it was open. So they were arguing, I think this letter was open with a scissor. They said, no, it was open with a knife. No, scissor, no knife. So they were fighting for it. They went out of the house arguing, no, because of this, because of that. So they got angry at each other, and one of them, they were passing on a bridge, and beneath was the river. So one of them pushed his friend in the river, and the man didn't know how to swim. So he was drowning, and he took his hand out.
Yeah, right.
So people, fight for any nonsense thing in this world, arguing, counter-arguing, and so many nonsense things, useless. Prabhupada compares that to the rainy season. There are many, what do you call, frogs crowing, and they think they chant very nicely, but they are calling the snakes. When the snakes hear them, come and swallow them up. So people who like to speak too much nonsense, they like calling death, swallow them up. So the Srila boy is speaking too much nonsense. Once I was giving a lecture in Mexico, in the house of the poet. All the poets, writer, visit this place. So one man was raised and said, the best thing is to keep silent. They all look at him, like they didn't like him much. And I told him, real silence means not to speak nonsense. Only to speak essential thing. And the most essential thing to speak about is God and the soul. And everybody. And he was like, okay. If you have nothing to say, better don't speak. Nothing real important. But nowadays, so many people know little something and they pose themselves as, very learned. Like once two friends went to hear some famous lecturer. They have to pay a lot of money to listen to him. And when they came out, such a nice lecture. Very good lecture. Did you understand something? Nothing. Me? Neither. But it was very good. Very flowery language, and they didn't understand much. So nowadays, like that, it's Kali Yuga, In Kali Yuga, it is said, it's like in the rainy season, it's very cloudy, you don't see the stars in the sky much. But what do you call those insects who shine?
Fireflies.
Fireflies, you see them everywhere. So in the same way, in Kali Yuga, all the charlatans and cheaters are very prominent, like fireflies. And the stars, the real devotees, are covered. Nobody pays much attention to them. And all these rascals, cheaters, they get a lot of money and get, big airplanes and fly, and famous, and they are nonsense. But this is because Kali Yuga is the age of cheaters and cheated. That's the reality. Because people are more interested to hear about nonsense. That you do whatever you like and you still are spiritually realized. If I give you this and that, you will be okay. And people believe all kind of nonsense. In the name of spirituality. The first devotees who went to Vrindavan, some Babaji caught them, come, I will show you who you are in the spiritual world. Oh, yes. And then one devotee entered the room and saw another devotee flapping his arms like that. What are you doing? Some exercise? No, don't tell anyone. They told me I was a peacock in the spiritual world, so I'm practicing. I mean, that's everywhere,
I have a question.
Yes, please.
You mentioned earlier in the middle of your lecture that Lord Chaitanya came down with his associates. I just want to know who are those associates and what form did they take?
Who are the associates?
Yeah.
Of course, the Panchatattva, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, and Srivas, and so many other followers, no?
Yeah.
Their names are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. No? The 6 Goswamis, Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, no? Damodar, Pandit, Mukunda, Datta, so many. And all of them are eternally liberated souls who came from the spiritual world along with him. And after he left, shortly after, they also start living. Lord Chaitanya didn't leave a material body. He entered the body of the deity of Tota Gopinath and Jagannath Puri. That's how he left this world. He didn't leave any body. So if we accept that all the aspects of Lord Chaitanya are eternally liberated souls, we also become liberated. That's what Narottam Das Thakur said. I mean, Jagannath Das Babaji said that one should worship the king who's ruling. And for Kali Yuga who's ruling, Lord Chaitanya. You know? And how we do that? By chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. And then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Lord Chaitanya's Panchatattva mantra should be chanted before chanting Hare Krishna. Very nice, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Premanandi Hari.